Hey everybody, Adam Bays with Amet Business Group. So hey, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get through this pretty quickly. What this is a basic video on getting your first Facebook ad up and running for lead generation. And today we'll do life insurance, okay? Let's go ahead and jump into it. First thing we're going to do is you're going to go into your ad manager account. Okay, to get there, basically, if you don't have an account set up already, go into Facebook, go over to your left hand side, scroll all the way to the bottom where it says ad manager, create an account. It's pretty simple. Once you jump in there, you're going to go to create, and we're going to come over here and start getting to work. First thing we want to do is name this. Let's just call it life insurance demo for purposes of this. We're going to do buying type auction. Everything that I'm going to teach basically on Facebook ads is going to be using auction. It's the most straightforward, easy way to do this. Objective, you can choose whether you want to just generate traffic, if you want to generate video views, if you want to generate leads. That's what we're going to choose. So go ahead and choose lead generation. And then it's going to talk about daily budget. Now, as you grow and as you scale, this budget may really increase. To start, I recommend nothing less than $10. So just throw $10. This is a daily budget, and Facebook will basically spend the entire day to exhaust those funds. So it won't be like in 15 minutes it'll show 1 million views and blow out your $10. It'll scale it throughout the day. And what's great about Facebook is it's learning, right? When somebody clicks on that, Facebook says, oh, all right, the person that clicked on it is this type of person. And then they start serving the ad to that type of person. So over time, it gets really smart and understands how to get this in front of the people that are most likely to click on or fill out the information. So it's great to keep these ads running. And when you stop them, you interrupt them, you pause them, it ruins the algorithms that are there to kind of make it more effective. So my recommendation, and anyone's recommendation really that's teaching these things, are to keep these ads going. All right, you're going to come down here, do the same thing. You can name it whatever you want and have different names for the ad set and the ads, but just to make it easy, we're doing the same. You're going to choose the Facebook page, which I'm sure all of you have a Facebook page to run it out of, and then the name as well. Okay, once we do that, we're going to just hit save to draft. It's going to do its thing, and then we're going to go in and actually edit all of these various fields that we just created here. So the first one obviously is going to be on the campaign level. All right. Here are the three we just did, right? The campaign, the ad set, and the actual ad. And then we're going to come down and we see it's already on lead generation because we chose it. It's on a $10 budget. That's really all we need to do. The next is we're going to come to this level. Okay. And this level is when we're making some decisions about audience and who's going to be getting these ads, okay? The first thing it's going to ask, again, is what Facebook page it's coming out of. You're going to choose it. It's going to ask some other stuff because Facebook's really there to try to help you make the most out of this. So they have a lot of tools that kind of help you create better ads. So you can utilize this stuff once you learn more about it. Your start date, today's May 6th. We're just going to start it. It's going to default to the time you're at right now. You can end it at a certain time. I recommend ending it manually when you want to. Let it continue to run. And then we're going to come over here to audience. So this is kind of what the nuts and bolts and what really make Facebook so amazing is that you can choose specifically who's going to get this. Now, everyone's going to have a different opinion. Every insurance agent's going to have a different opinion on, for instance, what they think the best demographic is for a particular product. So I'm going to go pretty basic here. And what I'm going to say is, first of all, I'm in California. So what I want to do is remove the United States because I only want ads to come in California. So we're going to cancel the United States. And then we're going to, one thing you must do, and I highly recommend, is changing people living in or recently in this location. We don't want that. We want people living, right? Because if someone's visiting from New York, they don't live in California. And if I can only write life policies in California, I don't want them. So you want to put people living in this location, okay? And then we're going to come over here, click on this, and this is where we're going to type in California. You'll see it right there. You just click on it. All right. Now, as you do this, what it's going to start doing is figuring out what your audience looks like. So if you look at right now, there's 27 million people. The only thing we have, right, is California. That's the only thing we have. So we have a lot more to do, and this will begin to drop. But as of right now, that's what we have. Now, age, again, a lot of different schools of thought on what you're trying. If you're doing final expenses, it's going to be one particular age. I'm going to go after new parents, right? So I'm going to say something like 25, and I'm going to scale it all the way up to 40 because these days people are having children a little bit later in life. So we're going to go from 25, and let's go to 40. Perfect. And then we want to leave all genders. Of course, you can change that, but if I would like to hit men and women. And now is the detailed targeting. We're going to edit that. Now, detailed targeting is basically Facebook's way of saying, hey, we have control and we know all of this information about these hundreds of millions of people. And we're going to allow you to tap into that system and put these ads in front of people that have these particular demographics or interests. So we're going to start off very high level. I'm going to say married. Now, is that a necessity? No, but that's how I want to start this campaign. And of course, what we're doing typically is testing things, right? So I may do one where I do people that are married, one that are unmarried, and look at the results. And if the ones with the married are better, I'm going to continue to run married or scale it up in terms of daily funds. So we're going to choose married, okay? Now, what that's going to do immediately is, obviously, we had 27 million people before, with only California. Then we shrunk it down to 25 to 40. Then we shrunk it down to married. So now we're sitting at 2.4 million. Okay, we've really kind of got that down, which is good. All right. And here's another thing I want. Well, if I'm doing life insurance, I probably want parents. So I'm going to type in parents. Now, there's all sorts of information. There's adult children, 18 to 26, parents of teenagers, parents of preteens. I'm going to go new parents, 0 to 12 months. And then we can do things to scale it further down if we wanted. Like, perfect example, I happen to know that Disneyland, let's call it Disneyland. I think it's annual. Yeah, Disneyland annual pass holders, for instance. I know that a tremendous amount of customers that have kids and that are married happen to like Disneyland's Facebook page. And essentially just what it does is it helps Facebook grab those people that are going to be in your demographic. Now, that's not to say people 65 aren't liking it, but generally speaking, people with kids, generally smaller kids, are going to Disneyland. So that may be something to include. Now, I will tell you that because I'm doing 0 to 12 months, new parents essentially, I probably would not do Disneyland. Why? Because I don't know that people 0 to 12 months are taking their kids to Disneyland, maybe a little bit too young, right? But if I was doing kids that were, 3 years old and up, I probably would. So this is, I think, a good start, right? This is what we have so far. We have men and women in California, ages 25 to 40, that are new parents and that are married. Okay, I think that's a good. I think we're on track. And of course, with Facebook, you can do things like that, like these particular websites. Let's just say you wanted you were doing a product that there was a particular political affiliation. You could choose a Facebook page that's a particular political affiliation. So, for instance, if you're trying to hit a demographic like burial insurance or funeral insurance, because of that age, there may be political influence may be in a particular direction. So you can actually pick these pages that they may go to or like to give you more chances to get people that fit that perfect lead for you. Similarly, like, you could choose AARP, people that are a part of that and like those pages. again, so you can capture that group. And the point behind this whole thing is you're trying to give Facebook as much information so Facebook can sift through all that stuff, figure out what's most relevant, and then serve the ads to those relevant people. That's really the entire goal of this process. So now that we've done that, and just so you know, you'll see this narrow down. You can actually come in here and narrow down the audience. So let's say we had all of these things, but for instance, I'm going to hit narrow, but I want, or I don't want rather, let's just say I don't want retirement age would be tough because we put an age, but I don't want, let's see, here we go. I don't want household income top 5%. Okay? So what that's saying is that it's going to find all these people. Let's say there's somebody that makes tremendous income. It's not going to include them. The reason you may do that is because, look, these are new parents. They may be concerned about it. If you have people with massive incomes, top 5% income, especially in California, incomes are big, they may not be concerned with getting a life policy because maybe they feel like, from a financial situation, they're in good shape. So not that necessarily is what you would do, but you get what I'm saying. It's allowing you to narrow or pull that person out of the pot. So that's pretty powerful, actually. So I'm going to delete that because for right now, we're not going to do any sort of narrowing. You can save this audience very simply. You hit the save button, and you can call it whatever you want. You can call it life demo, and then you can go new parents, 25 to 40. 25 to 40. This way, you can choose it again, and it'll be safe for you in case you want to use it. Essentially, that's really all you need to do as far as setting up the ad set. Now we're going to come to the actual ad. And this is sort of where you go from trying to understand who's getting it to what they're getting, right? Over on this side is where your ad is going to be developed right in front of you. The first thing is you're going to, once again, have your Facebook page here, because if you look on top of the ad, you're going to see that sponsored by, right? So you're always going to have that there. You're going to come down, you want single image, right? We're not doing a carousel. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to hit edit, and we're going to hit change image because it's just defaulting to an image on that page. And then we're going to come over here to account images. Now you can have things saved in there. You can go to stock images. What I really like to do, because Facebook actually has some really good stock images, and they use Shutterstock, which is, there's tons. So now I typed in baby. I did a search prior, and so it saved that search. But I'm going to look here, and every one of these is cute little baby. I'm going to pick something like this. Okay, so we're going to click on this image, and it's going to take over this image with that new image that you just put in there. And what's really nice is because Facebook has these stock images in there, it kind of knows exactly what it needs to be. And then we're going to come over here and start with the text. So I haven't really put a lot of thought into what we're going to do for text, but basically as you type in here, you're going to see this text come up, right? So I'm going to put something like, because we're sending it to new parents, I'm going to put like new parents. I'm going to put you have insurance on your cell phone. How about insurance for your family? So I may come over here, and then you can start, playing with it, however you want it to look. And then the other thing you can do, like, there's all kinds of resources out there for getting, making the ads a little more, bringing a little more attention to them. But let's go right here. So I can put something like smiley face, right? We'll pick this one. There's so many different kinds. We're going to hit copy. And then I'm going to come back in Ads Manager. And I can basically like put a bunch of these just to kind of, dress it up a little bit. Okay, so that's all for that top, all we really need to do. And then down on the bottom, so if you want to see right here, it says sign up, we actually would probably come here because it's the lead, and we'd put get quote, right? And display link. This is something like you'd put your insurance company, so like lifeinsurance.com, whatever your website is. You don't have to put it if you don't want to. And then you can put here, let us get you. Let us help you. Let us help you today, or something like that, whatever you want to put. Okay, so essentially that's it. Your ad is done. It's complete, right? We're going to come down here. Now what we're going to do is hit create lead form. And this is what's great about the lead form piece, is that you can actually keep them on Facebook's page. They don't have to leave, so they're not going to another website. They're actually filling out the lead information right there, and Facebook's going to deliver that to you. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when they click on it. You're going to have your name here. There's two options, more volume or higher intent. The higher intent is going to basically ask more questions, or it's going to have them confirm stuff. It's going to put them through a little more work, but you're going to get more qualified people. I tend to think the more volume is better. I like at-bats. I like having as many leads as possible. And although a lot of them may be garbage sometimes, let's be honest, that happens with leads, at least I know I have the opportunity. So I'd rather have more people coming in just to give me more opportunity. So you're going to go right to your intro, and you can change the picture, or it's going to use default. I like using that same default picture, but you can upload another one if you want. This is where you would basically, your headline, this stuff right here. So, you could put, well, I don't know if that's a great thing to put, but you could put something like, protect your family today. And then you could come over here and you could, please provide us with the following information to receive a quote today. Sorry about the typing, guys. All right. And then here are your questions, right? By default, it's going to kick out a couple, email and first name. You don't want to get crazy with questions. If these people are providing you an email address and a name, you can send them an email so you can correspond with them. If you start asking for a ton of questions or a ton of answers, they may just jump off, right? So I wouldn't go too crazy. I would almost say that name and email is good enough. If you want to get them a quote, you could come over here, add category, go to demographic, maybe you do date of birth. So now you know their name, date of birth, and judging by their name, you could probably determine if it's a male or female. Not always, but it basically what that does is it gives you one less question you have to ask. I mean, in a perfect world, you want to have male, female. You want to make sure if the name is Terry, it's not short for Teresa, or you want to make sure you have the right information, but you don't need to do that at this point. But date of birth, can work, or you can just leave, name and email address. That's up to you. Privacy policy, you're going to have. Facebook requires it. So let's just say you're a captive agent. Well, if you're a farmer's captive agent, farmers is going to have their own, privacy policy. So you just put a URL link to it, or you can actually put text in here. There's a custom disclaimer. You can create whatever you want, but I'd recommend you just put in the URL to your insurance company. Even if you're an independent insurance company, you probably have that as well. And then you have the thank you page, which basically comes standard like this, you can adjust whatever you want. Your info has been sent. To upload a visit, click website. You'd come right over here and put in your www dot, oops, well, you wouldn't do that. You do HTTP, www dot, whatever, lifeinsurance.com. Okay? That's really all you need to do. And then you'd hit finish. And then it's going to tell you there's some things you need to do. So you'd put here, your information will not be shared. And then, again, it wants the privacy policy. So let's go back to HTTP, www.lifeinsurance.com. Perfect. And then we hit finish. And that, my friends, is a completed ad ready to go. All of this you'd have to do at this point is come over here. As you see, it says in draft. These aren't errors that pertain to this thing. It's errors to some of the other demos I've done. But you're ready to go. Right underneath me here is a submit button. You would submit it, but you're good to go. This is the ad that's going to go out and start serving with $10 a day. There's this stock background that will disappear on the actual image, so don't worry about it. And you're good to go. So that was, in a nutshell, without doing any sort of pre-work from beginning to end. That probably took 20 minutes for me to go through this. When you do it yourself, it's 5 minutes. The other thing is, let's say you want to make a change. What you really do is you come up here, there's a little button, and you go duplicate or quickly duplicate. And that will literally create an exact duplicate of it, and then you can go in and make a change. Like, let's say you want to change the age from 25 to 40 to, whatever, 21 to 35, and then run that ad. And then you can run them both to kind of see which one is getting the best response. Because you want to be careful. You don't want to make adjustments to existing. So you would never want to have your ad. Let's say your ad's going along and it's getting some response, but it's not that great. And you go, well, let me try something else. Well, if you make an adjustment to that ad, it throws off the algorithm, right? You don't want to do that. You want to let that thing keep running till you determine whether you want to kill it or not. So you do that duplicate, you run the other one. If that's well outperforming, then you kill this one and you let this one go, okay? Everybody, thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. It's been my pleasure. Till the next video. Bye-bye.